They're 16, they're 17, they're barely old enough to drive, and they're destroying world records that have stood for decades. A 16-year-old from Japan just ran 10.00 seconds in the 100 meters, faster than Usain Bolt at the same age. A 16-year-old from New Zealand just ran the fastest mile in under 18 history, 3:48.88. He was running against professionals. He beat them all. On a fast indoor track in Boston, jet-lagged and just 3 days removed from a flight halfway around the world, he did something nobody his age had ever done. I didn't feel like I was going that fast, to be honest. I still don't believe it. An 18-year-old from Australia named Gout just broke the world under-20 record in the 200 meters, 19.67 seconds. He ran faster than Usain Bolt at the same age. Let that sink in. The greatest sprinter in history, and this teenager from down under just outran him on the timeline. A 20-year-old from Italy named Mattia Fulani became the youngest long jump world champion in history at the World Championships in Tokyo. He jumped 8.39 meters. He beat the favorites. He surpassed an age record previously held by the legendary Carl Lewis, who won his first world title at 22. A 21-year-old from Botswana named Colin Kibina won the men's 400 meters in a national record of 43.53 seconds. He became the first man from his country to ever win a world title. And the 17-year-old from Texas named Cooper Lutkenhaus beat the Olympic champion in the 800 meters by 1/100th of a second. Then he beat him again 4 days later. But here's the thing. The legends aren't going anywhere. Because at the very same World Championships in Tokyo, where these young stars were making history, the old guard was fighting back. And they weren't just fighting, they were winning. Tokyo, September 2025, the Japan National Stadium, the World Athletics Championships. The young stars came ready to take over, but the legends had other plans. Noah Lyles, 28 years old, lined up for the men's 200 meters. He had already been dethroned as world 100-meter champion. He had taken bronze. The young guns were circling. The pressure was immense. But Lyles didn't break. He didn't crumble. He ran 19.52 seconds and won his fourth successive world title in the discipline. He became the first man since Usain Bolt to defend the crown 3 times. He raised 4 fingers to the crowd. A message. A warning. I can't wait for 2027 to become the only man to win 5 200 meters titles, Lyles said afterward. Then there was Faith Kipyegon, 31 years old, a mother, a 3-time Olympic champion, the queen of middle distance running. She walked onto the track in Tokyo and turned the 1500-meter final into a race against the clock. She won her 4th world title for the event. Earlier that season, she had broken her own world record with a time of 3:48.68. She became only the second woman to win 4 world titles in the same track event. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, 38 years old, a mother, a legend, the mommy rocket. She came to Tokyo for her 8th and final World Championships appearance. She finished her career with a silver medal in the 4x100-meter relay, taking her overall world's medal tally to a stunning 16. I'm a fierce competitor. My only goal is to win, even at 38, she said. Ryan Cruiser, 32 years old, thought his legendary shot put career might be over. He had been battling injuries, doubt, pain, but he fought back. He won his 6th global title. He joined track and field legends. He refused to fade away. Keshawn Walcott, 32 years old, won javelin gold in Tokyo. Having made history back in 2012 as the youngest ever winner of an Olympic men's javelin title, he became one of the oldest ever winners of a men's javelin title at the World Championships. The young stars came to take over. The legends said, not yet. The World Championships in Tokyo weren't just about medals. They were about something bigger. They were about who gets to define the future of track and field. And the numbers tell a story of chaos and change. Tokyo 2025 saw 8 championship records broken and 1 equaled. It was the edition with the highest number of new records in the 21st century. Women's 400 meters. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, 25 years old, ran 47.78 seconds. She broke a championship record that had stood for 42 years, the second fastest time in history. Women's 800 meters. Lilian Odira, 26 years old, ran 154.62. She broke another record that had stood since the first World Championships in 1983. Men's pole vault. Mondo Duplantis, 26 years old, cleared 6.30 meters, his 4th world record of 2025 alone, his 14th world record of his career. A total of 36 defending champions failed to defend their title. Only 13 managed to win another one. The old guard was falling. The young stars were rising. 3 countries made it to the podium for the first time: St. Lucia, Samoa, and Uruguay. Tanzania won its first ever gold medal. The sport was changing, expanding, becoming unpredictable. But the most telling number, 43-year-old João Vieira made his 14th successive World Championships appearance. He became the oldest medalist in World Athletics Championships history, the youngest and the oldest, competing on the same stage, fighting for the same glory. This wasn't just a sport anymore. It was a war, a generational war between the young guns who grew up watching the legends on YouTube and the legends who refused to fade away. September 17th, 2025. Tokyo, the men's long jump final. Mattia Furlani stepped onto the runway. He was 20 years old, the youngest competitor in the field, the world indoor champion. But this was the outdoor world championships, the big stage, the one that matters. The favorites were there, the veterans, the medalists, the men who had been doing this for a decade. Furlani didn't care. On his 5th attempt, he soared through the humid Tokyo night. He landed at 8.39 meters, a personal best, a gold medal, a place in history. He became the youngest long jump world champion in history. He surpassed Carl Lewis, who won his first world title at 22. He gave Italy its first gold medal of the championships. But Furlani wasn't the only young star making history. So where does track and field go from here? The young stars are here. They're real, they're fast, and they're only getting faster. Gout is 18 years old and already running 19.67 in the 200 meters. He's faster than Usain Bolt at the same age. What happens when he's 22, 25? The world record of 19.19 suddenly doesn't look so untouchable. Mattia Furlani is 20 years old and already a world champion. He's already surpassed Carl Lewis on the timeline. What happens when he's 25, when he's in his prime? Cooper Lutkenhaus is 17 years old and already beating Olympic champions. What happens when he's 20, when he's 25? But here's the thing, the legends aren't going anywhere. Noah Lyles is 28 and he's already talking about 2027. He wants 5 world titles. He wants to be the only man to do it. He's not done, not even close. Faith Kipyegon is 31 and she's still breaking world records. She's still winning world titles. She's still the queen. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce may have retired, but her legacy lives on. She showed the world that age is just a number, that mothers can be champions, that legends never truly fade away. The question isn't whether the young stars will take over. The question is when. And the question for the legends is, how long can they hold on? Because this isn't just a sport anymore. It's a war, a generational war between the young guns who grew up watching the legends on YouTube and the legends who refuse to fade away. The World Championships in Tokyo weren't the end of anything. They were the beginning of everything.